Hello, welcome to Master Powercast. Our mini comic review this go around brings us to the rarest of all, the ultimate Battleground. Tyler, you said that you got this comic, actually.
Yeah, I do.
How long ago did you get it? How much did you pay for it? What is kind of the general pricing at the time that you're looking for these? Because this mini comic, for those that don't know, is packaged with the vintage Eternia playset, which is that's why it makes it so rare. Because oftentimes we talked about this a lot when we cover mini comics. For as great as they are, some kids would just take them and gone, thrown away, or the parents, especially, it's like, they don't need this, gone. And you have to think that's just with the figure. This comes with a gigantic playset. So most parents probably put it together, took the instruction booklet with the mini comic in the trash with the box, all of that. So give me your history with discovering the mini comic and its existence, and then your process into obtaining one. I'm imagining eBay, right? It's not something you found in the wild?
Not eBay.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, let's hear it.
I think well, like I said, I didn't know about what the three towers were until actually the internet come along and you actually see pictures of it, and the price, because it was just listed as Eternia. I always thought it was the Royal Palace. I didn't know that it was these three towers that I had seen in the Powers of Grayskull mini comic that I had. That was another one of the more rare ones too. Not as rare as this one, but that was probably like the most second rare, because it only came with the dinosaurs, and on occasionally like one of the other vintage figures would come with it. But then I think it was through He-Man.org, they had the picture of it and the synopsis, and then eventually the whole book would get uploaded, so you actually look at it like, oh my god, this is really cool, and just kind of seeing like the story that it was kind of setting up. There's no mention of Hero, because Hero was coming out the following year, but they don't acknowledge anything of something like that. It's and we'll get into that when we discuss the story. So it was cool to see mention of the elders, like a shot of the elders. Oh my god, okay, so there's them, and they sunk it in, and trying to understand the logic of the playset too. That it's a playset that connects good and evil together. And it never made much sense to me, even back then. I'm like, really, you're gonna have the biggest threat just in a tower next door, and I'm like, there's got to be that was always my logic of like, there has to be meaning behind it. It can't just be, and they did it for kids. They weren't thinking that in depth in terms of logic, and it doesn't have to be in depth in terms of logic. It just needs to make sense. But I just kind of roll with that, and I'm like, man, I pretty much made it in my mind. Like, there was, even though I looked for the three towers like to buy, I was like, it's one of those things I don't know if I'll ever own. Like, the biggest question. It's like some of the other stuff, like, I know I'll never own. But this and the Jitsu Night Stalker too, but like, maybe someday, maybe I'll get lucky. And of course, thanks to you, I do have the three towers right over here, looking right at me right now. And but I ended up getting the mini comic before I got the three towers.
Is this going to be? God, this is going to be a happy flea market find, isn't it?
No, not even that.
Holy shit! Okay,
no,
all right.
No, and it connects to what we'll talk about in this. Eric Amon wanted me to write a mini comic for his 3D printed three towers he was going to be doing. He'd done some G.I. Joe playsets. They'd done really well. He really wanted to do He-Man. And he's like, I want you to be a consultant on this project, make sure I'm doing things right, and I want you to write a mini comic. And I was a big fan of it. And he's like, you know what? I have the Ultimate Battleground. I'm just going to send it to you.
Oh, man.
So he gave it to me for free. Yeah, and it's over here in the frame.
I mean, as you do.
Oh yeah. It's in a plastic baggie and with cardboard behind it, and a frame fit just for it. So I have, when I got it opened up and looked through it, of course, look at the hard copy, just to know what it's like to look at the hard copy of it. And ever since then, it's been sealed up on display, because it's definitely one of the prized possessions.
Jesus, yeah. I just looked it up on eBay.
Yeah.
No, because this is a thing that I've never sought out, like let me see how much this is going.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the mini comics in general, like there's a good chunk of them that it ranges in price, and it also depends because some of them everyone probably had that book, so it's obviously not as rare. But my God, man,
go ahead and list some of the prices you're seeing at, just so for people
150, 155, 250. 139 with $15 shipping, 160, and those are the only listings that are on there.
Are they buy it nows, or are they starting auctions at those prices?
These are all buy it nows.
Okay.
Well, there is one, sorry, that is on an auction. But the Ultimate Battleground mini comic, custom Franken Ratlore lot He-Man Motu She-Ra. So I guess you get a figure with it. Someone's custom.
Some bullshit custom. Someone decided to charge a fuck ton of money for a shitty custom.
Yeah, pretty much.
I see that a lot with this property. People have like shitty customs or just shitty custom, and they think they can charge $300 for a shitty repaint.
Yeah, or like mix and match stuff. Five whole listings for this mini comic as of this recording on eBay. $150 for a fucking mini comic. No way.
Yeah.
No. I'm good. Just
looking at the Dark Horse book,
either the book or just having the scans of it on the computer to look at,
Yeah.
much like you all are going to see here.
Yeah, I don't think He-Man.org has it up. I think it's one of the few. They only have like 2 or 3 books they're missing. And that is one of them. They don't have scans of yet.
Well, you could just provide your.
I don't have a scanner or anything like that. You do, but.
Yeah. I'll scan it for
you. You tell Adam, hey, Adam, give us some publicity on your website, and we'll give you scans Ultimate Battleground.
There's plenty of resources that they could pull from.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They could strictly just like pull it from the Dark Horse book.
They could
if they wanted to, but. Let's go ahead without any further ado and get into this. And then you were mentioning that you were asked to create a story for a project that never came to fruition.
Yeah, much like a lot of things that I've been asked to be a part of that just don't seem to ever materialize. But only one ever did. But this one, he had done previous stuff, so I'm like, okay, he can get it done. He loved what I wrote. And Kevin Sharp was going to illustrate it, because we reached out to Kevin, and then Eric just unfortunately just got off of social media altogether. It was for reasons unknown. I didn't ask. It wasn't any of my business. He just said he was bowing out, but he paid me to do it.
Right.
So
I mean,
that was one of the things I was paid to do it, and
no fault in that. It just ultimately it didn't
materialize. But
all of you at home will reap the benefits, because after we flip through this and give our thoughts and review on it, Tyler's just gonna give you the story.
It's been sitting in dormant for quite a few years now. Like, I think I only shared it with a small handful of people, like maybe 2 or 3 total.
Yeah.
And that's it, because I'm like,
and Tyler's title for it, what a tongue twister, is The Powers of Grayskull Part 3, the second Ultimate Battleground, right?
Yeah, I stole it from Scott Nylick,
Okay.
Yeah.
We could briefly mention that the second Ultimate Battleground was released in 2012 to celebrate the 30th anniversary. Anyway,
let me just remind everybody, in case you've forgotten or you're not familiar with that crock of shit, that Scott Nylick decided to take the name of this book, or what the place that was referred to on the box as the Ultimate Battleground, and would, all great battles have names. Well, great battles in He-Man, according to him, are called the Ultimate Battleground, which makes no fucking sense from a English speaking standpoint. Let alone, like, that's the name of the playset, the describing of this, and he just has, it's the second Ultimate Battleground. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, like it's WrestleMania.
Yes. It's like, no, that's not how this works, moron.
Michael Cole comes in. Welcome to the 44th Ultimate Battleground.
It's just, and of course, that's what happens when Mattel doesn't care and just turns over all the story ideas, which they didn't give a shit about. Here, Scott, do whatever you want. Just make us money with this adult collector's line. So there's no checks and balances. So that's why he got away with making up all this shit for years.
I mean, it is kind of crazy to think about that. My favorite toy line out of this property comes from the classics line, and that's all thanks to him. In that regard,
he's the brand manager. Like, he's not creating the looks,
I know, it's more like the Four Horsemen deserve
the Four Horsemen, even though he did have his snake oil salesman fingers all over it in terms of like, you got to buy this shitty figure that I'm forcing in here if you want to get the sub exclusive, shit like that, which we've all heard before. So I hope he comes to Motifest as a guest. I'd love to ask him a bunch of questions like, what the fuck were you thinking? All right, that's my rant for the day. I no more rants. No more rants.
We shall see. Let's dig into the cover here. I love it. I mean, what else? I mean, it's Bruce Timm, of course, being the artist of this book, and it's we talk about this every time Bruce Timm's name comes up. It's a shame that he doesn't look back on this with more fondness, because it's still great work nonetheless.
Yeah, he's definitely more welcoming about it than Paul Dini ever was.
Yeah, but the both of them are just kind of like, Master Makers.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, why aren't you proud of knowing that the work you've done throughout your entire life is appreciated and celebrated, and people want to ask you about it? You're like, no, it's got to be Batman or nothing at all.
Mm-hmm. But just a great shot of He-Man and Skeletor fighting.
Oh, such dynamic poses. He still draws one of the best Skeletors that's ever been done. Like, he just knows how to draw Skeletor.
A cry goes through the land of Eternia, a cry for help, a cry of, we will get nitpicking. This is something that we talked about like years and years ago. The fact they say earthquake in here, yeah, it's fine, but
I guess because you're talking about the earth, the ground itself, that's the only way you can get away with that. Because that's how I look at that. Even though, yes, proper. I'm not going to say Eternia quake.
Yeah,
earthquake rolls off the tongue. I feel like if you're referring to the ground, the soil, the earth itself that you're walking on, is like, okay, you can get away with saying that.
I do suppose. I probably would have just phrased it another way, but
you could have called it something else. You could have called it Tremors or something like that, and then Kevin Bacon yells Stampede or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah, you do that. But I understand having it there because the vernacular, someone like a kid reading it, something that they easily understand while they're looking at the pictures, but just a minor little thing. We get Rio Blast, we get Extendar. Saving a baby.
I like that. And Rio Blast destroying debris falling down from buildings and the various housing and castles that are around in this village here. It's a great large. It's not a splash panel, but it showcases a lot of action setting the stage. Like, oh my god, like many comics don't open up with this kind of problem. It's almost like or the villains have an idea and we're going to do this, or the heroes are kind of hanging out.
Yeah,
most shit's gone down immediately.
Yeah, most of the time it starts off quiet. Here, it's immediate panic. But He-Man fears there's an evil cause for this destruction, and sure enough, it is. We have King Hiss and Skeletor here working together to raise the three towers, and I love the fact we don't. Yeah, I was gonna say we don't see it here, but we actually do. That as they're talking to one another and saying, yeah, it's great that we're doing this, but they both have the same mindset of power that I'm going to obtain and I'm going to destroy you with.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like if we were ever to get like an end all be all like climax to the vintage storyline with the Horde, King Hiss and Skeletor, like you would eventually see like all three of these guys trying to take each other out. And I kind of feel like it would probably be King Hiss taken out probably by both Hordak and Skeletor, or by Skeletor, and it comes down to Hordak and Skeletor is like the mentor and the apprentice, with Skeletor coming out on top. Ultimately, I think
it's like Star Wars.
God,
the ground seems to moan.
He's Hordak's Padawan
as it splits in parts. And what a description to think when this is happening that the ground is moaning.
Maybe it kind of sounds like it's been kicked in the balls, like, oh.
Josh, the bus is coming.
Yeah.
But the three towers rise from beneath the earth. And of course, we get Grayskull Tower, Central Tower, and Viper Tower. And nothing in Eternia will ever be the same again, for these towers are the ultimate battleground. So we have Bruce Timm as the artist, Charles Simpson as the colorist, Phil White as the writer, Stan Sakai as letterer. He's been sticking around on these for quite some time, and then Lee Nordling as the editor. I guess you do have to have an editor on these, but
Lee Nordling was the editor on pretty much the majority of all the mini comics.
It seems too, though. It's interesting to me that it would just bounce around between. Yeah, we're going to put all the credits on here, and then sometimes we only get a few of them, sometimes not at all. It's kind of interesting that
I don't know how they pick and choose
to do that.
You know, like we got to leave space in this particular book to make sure our staff, our key components who put this thing together, are all acknowledged here. So I
wonder if any of them ever got mad about that. Then it's like, you didn't put this in the shit that I worked on. Why? There were probably conversations. Okay.
I feel like for the I don't know, because I know sometimes I think with some art they don't want people to put their signature somewhere in there, because then it means like, okay, you don't do that. That's all. It's ours. This illustration, this art is ours. We own it. Don't put your initials on here. That kind of shit. But
yeah,
I think back then they were a little bit more respectful of these guys. I don't think that they got royalties or anything like, off this stuff. It's just like, hey, we're going to pay you, illustrate it, and turn it in, and it's ours now. But we'll say you drew it or whatever. But
Skeletor saying we should split our forces and take control of all three towers, which Hiss agrees. And then they have a disagreement here with Ratlord. It's like, no, he can stay here. Or no, Tongue Lasher. They're like, no, Tongue Lasher can come with me and we'll storm Central Tower. And it's like, you can take Viper Tower. And Skeletor's like, nope, I'm going to go with Central Tower with Tongue Lasher. So poor Ratlord. And we will see, he's gonna feel quite bored. So yeah,
he's colored green here, and then he returns to his normal color scheme later in the book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at it too. It's like
right there in the top panel, at least he's closer to his color scheme, and then the next panel down, he's suddenly green.
I mean,
forgivable errors.
Yeah, it's the mindset of like, I'm gonna make it look decent enough, but at the same time, it's just a 14-page mini comic for kids. Who cares?
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. That would be fun to just talk. It would be nice to talk to all these people that are still with us and worked on these. Just where their mind was, were they wanting to give the full 100%, or did they just look at it like, yeah, it's a paycheck?
Yeah,
it's nice that people remember this, but at the time, I was just getting money. I had to pay bills.
I think it is with a lot of this stuff with He-Man, because I feel like there was only a select few who worked on this property, whether it's with Filmation or actually on the brand itself with Ed Mattel, or people like Errol McCarthy and William George and Earl Norm, who were very well renowned and celebrated for their contributions. I feel like a lot of them, it's a job, and they're not looking at it as anything more. Like, they just want me to do a good job, draw this, include these characters in these vehicles in this playset, and that is it. And they're not thinking about anything else other than that.
I mean, I think that it kind of goes beyond that too when you talk about voice actors, because when you were talking with Frank Welker, and he was talking about bouncing around booth to booth. At the time, I really think all of them, I mean, I can't speak for all of them, but I felt like most of them were just looking at it simply, yeah, this is a job. I love it, but it's just a job. I don't think any of them were going into this with the mentality that 40 years later, there's going to be all these talking heads on the internet recording, going over their work and everything. So,
when they did so many of them too, it's like, what sticks out,
True. Yeah.
In terms of like, they really enjoy. I mean, some will say, I really enjoyed doing that character. Like, yeah, but if like Transformers had not become the juggernaut that it was and still is, would Frank Welker and Peter Cullen still like reflect and say, I really like playing Optimus Prime and Megatron, given all the other characters that they've done in animation, let alone voiceover work for movies and stuff, like Frank Welker playing Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat, or Peter Cullen's doing, voiceovers for He-Man commercials or
Well,
things like that.
I mean,
or movie trailers for Spawn.
I mean, we kind of go through the same thing, like when he hasn't done it in a long time, but when Brad Collins would be like, "Hey, I have some trivia for you," and it's stuff. It's like, do you remember this episode when who said this? I'm like, no, I don't even ever remember that happening. There's like certain bits and pieces of things,
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, it's probably the same. It's just
that's a good point.
You do enough of it.
But I guess I think about what we do is like I sometimes we don't get the kind of feedback where people like look back at a certain episode. Oh boy, that was the most memorable episode you guys ever did, or anything like that. It's just we're just talking, venting about a moment, or celebrating a certain moment, and move on to the next one. And I guess it's in a roundabout way. Yeah, it's move on to the next voice acting role, move on to the next illustration I got to draw. It's
move on to the next episode. But yeah. I love here. This is kind of like the Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck effect to a degree, where King is like, I'm gonna do this. Guys, no, you know what? I'm gonna storm the tower. You know what? Go ahead. There's traps there. That's exactly what I want you to do. So
too bad I forgot to tell you about all that.
Yeah,
I like the green saliva in King Hiss's mouth there. Yeah, he's laughing.
It's a good touch. But he say, go ahead, do that. It'll end your conquest. I'll have the power for myself. Sorry I didn't tell you about the danger. So I love that. So we go back to our earthquake-ridden village here, and we're getting all the praise. We're lucky to have you guys around.
And just seeing touches like Extender's helping out some girl, like probably some girls fancying him, and Rio Blast is helping a guy's broken arm. It's just cool seeing these little extra touches amongst the aftermath of the earthquake.
Being a medic. But He-Man saying, looks like the danger's over. As Sorceress comes in, it's like, you're wrong. Attorney faces its darkest hour. Come once to Castle Grayskull, and I will explain. So he hops up, and then we see here, what is this? The land which used to separate Castle Grayskull from Snake Mountain has been changed. And these towers, who could it be? Even though he kind of has a grand idea. I love this little shot here.
I do too. I was going to say the same thing.
With
so
the candles
beautifully drawn and then colored. Like it's inked beautifully. They really know how to ink Bruce Timm's artwork. Like I think that's what helps intensify his work. Is the coloring and the inking on all his work is it's top notch. Every book he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. She goes on to say, "There's much you don't know about the past," which I find kind of interesting, because oftentimes it's led that when he is chosen and he's here in Grayskull, that like all the knowledge is within him, but this seems to elude him. So I find that kind of fascinating that there's a separation here. So it's like, I wonder what more secrets are not being told about the past.
Well, and I think that's what makes it fascinating about what would come the following year, when they start hinting that the three towers, that there's more to it. That when these towers were on this planet, there were dinosaurs running around. The snake men were running rampant. And there was a champion that was defending the snake men and protecting these towers during that time, who was your ancestor. So I like that this was like building like this constant, this mystery. This has like different layers that just keep peeling away, because when the line starts, Grayskull is known as the Fortress of Mystery and Power, and you have that mystery. You don't, and it's constantly built like that through the mini comics, through the mythology, through Filmation. Not much is said, and they pretty much just keep it all kind of, open ended, and in a very fun way. Much like how you don't explain how Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers continue to keep coming back, the way that he leave it unanswered. But at least with this, it doesn't come off like this really fucked up, dumb idea that's just got, shit packed in to sell a really bad idea. Like it's, and because this line comes, this wave comes out, they're planting the seeds the next year for Hero, was going to come out in '88. So I'd like to think that when this is coming out, like, okay, we have something we can build upon here. We're setting the stage for an even grander scale that's going to take place in the past here. And we're only going to give you a sample of what we're leading to, because even though the Sorceress gives you an explanation, the explanation goes a lot deeper, and even then we're still not given all the answers to everything.
So all of you, boys that were born in the mid to late 70s that grew out of this because you're getting older and getting into girls. Tyler's going to blame you because the line should have kept going. So Tyler could have not only reaped the benefits of this, but to seen it fleshed out how they would have
because you all decided to play hula hoops, your Dan Fogelberg and Jazima and hula hoops and jack off magazines. And, you know, I had to suffer. I mean, where the hell did this line go?
But the sorceress lets you know that the Grayskull Tower, which stood before Castle Grayskull, is a symbol of goodness, and then neighboring it is the Viper Tower, a symbol of all that is evil, and then ever connected is the Central Tower, which stood in between. And then, as Tyler mentioned before, we get this little brief shot of the ancients. So you get to see them burying everything because they did not want all of this to fall into the hands of the greatest enemy, King Hiss.
Which I think it was in the hero story I shared a while back. I try to give like more context about this, like give logic why these three towers are set up the way that they are. That it's an alliance between good and what was considered evil on the planet for a time, with King Hiss planning to eventually just usurp and break the alliance and take over the entire structure, the three towers itself and the planet. That the Viper Tower is like, it's a symbol of like the Snake Men have allied themselves with the good forces, the good people of Eternia. That's why there's a Snake Tower here to say we're all encompassed together. Like the battle tram all encompasses all of us together. We're all unified. There is no more, separation. There's no rivals. There's no enemies. We're all together, just waiting for the Snake Men to strike at the right time to take over. And that's when I feel like once they're like, we got to get rid of these things. Like, it's causing too much turmoil and chaos. We'll sink the towers. We'll rid ourselves of King Hiss, and then that's what I feel like in a very short and sweet manner would be like the meaning behind that. They would all bring in help with the technology in the Central Tower, the technology of the Viper Tower. Like, they're all coming together and sharing the things that they could bring to the table to kind of make this massive alliance on this planet, which is why Central Towers is filled with all kinds of unexplained stuff. Some stuff that's like, we'll touch on it. I'm getting off on a tangent here. So,
but Skeletor and Tongue Lasher approach Central Tower, as King Hiss has kind of tricked him into doing, and then the Skeletor, as they're approaching, I don't trust him. He agreed too quickly to this plan. Perhaps I'll let Tongue Lasher take the lead just in case. And then Tongue Lasher, everything's fine. And then we get the gimmick that comes in, and he's grabbed and he's trapped. Thank you, my friend, for clearing the way. Wait, Skeletor, come back to help me. So reaping the benefits of the traps that were set up as we go here. He-Man is on his way from Castle Grayskull
on the laser bolt, just taking off out of the jaws of Grayskull there.
And then we have Rattler here. Why do I always get the dumb jobs? He-Man probably won't even come around this dumb old tower. Oh, wait a minute. Here he comes.
All we're missing is Rattler like kicking a rock,
Yeah. It's like, halt, He-Man, you won't pass me. And then He-Man just fucking hops off and drop kicks him.
Yeah, and then locks him in.
Yeah, we get more of because you do have to showcase.
You got to incorporate a lot, most of the gimmicks, which it's much stuff is in it. Some of it showcases more than what was given, and other times it doesn't have enough room to showcase what is actually with the playset.
Yeah. And he goes on to say, if King Hiss hears about this, I'm a cooked lizard.
Now, this is cool, and I would have been so let down because I used to wonder what the hell was in the back of Viper Tower as a kid when I was younger. Like, what is inside there? And you see this, and you have barely enough room to put one figure inside that Viper Tower, and he stands up in a black void. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
But to see that there's this periscope system with all these technical, you got computer screens and all kinds of other things going in there, like things that just unexplained. It's like, oh my God, what a world inside this one tower here.
Mm-hmm.
and
and you don't get that with the toy at all.
No, you do not. And I do like the pose, like when King is like he's so glad to be back in and wants to check out what's going on. And he rests his hands on the handlebars of the periscope. It's like, fuck. Tongue lasher's already in the jaws of the central tower. I mean, Skeletor's gotten in there. Like, damn it.
Yeah. So I must warn Skeletor.
Yep.
That even though they're rivals, he dislikes He-Man even more than that. So yeah, we get a good part here where Skeletor says, "Fascinating. Everything is so old and yet looks brand new, unused. But where's the power?" And then just being in there simply gives you
the
power, which is interesting. That's just simply being in there gives you
enhanced strength, which that's an interesting concept, but then also one I kind of feel like
falls a little flat.
Yeah. It's but that's where we're making this for children mentality comes in. So
Hiss comes through on the monitor and says, "Yeah, He-Man's approaching on the battle tram." And he's like, "Oh, that's fine. I got the laser blaster. I'll take him out." And then, of course, we get the tram gimmick in here,
which I've always found so cool and so fascinating to when you actually see one complete and see the tram going around. And I almost feel like the idea is like the towers are more farther apart than they appear to be.
Mm-hmm.
So like, which would require the battle tram to get you there quicker, as opposed to just, no, how about you just walk down to the ground and just go, about 30 feet over. And that, but it's more about the imagination. These things are supposed to be a lot further, much how they want to illustrate that Grayskull and Snake Mountain are right next door as well.
Yeah.
It's more about setting up the toy aesthetic, But I always thought the battle tram was probably one of the coolest parts of the entire three tower setup.
Yeah, I mean it's fun for what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually I'll get the Origins one that I have in its box and take it out and set it up and just make the space for it. But Skeletor gets the upper hand, blows this up, and as He-Man is falling, Snoutspout swoops in to the rescue and said the sorcerer said you might need help. So he's just simply here to shoot some blast, have He-Man aboard. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to drop you off. See you later.
And he's met with a powerful punch. That's probably one of the most coolest punching poses that we've gotten in the mini comics. There's a couple that just come right to mind, and this is always one of them. This one and the one Larry Houston did for Rock People to the Rescue, where He-Man punches Skeletor the fuck out. But it's cool to see Skeletor on the opposing end, like the one punching He-Man like that, and after he gets up from that, like, oh my god, no, wait, you're right, like just standing in anywhere in that tower, like I have to be inside, just standing anywhere, which kind of makes me feel like, does that mean standing on the steps of Central Tower?
Well, I mean, think about this. Like, what would happen if there's just multiple, like 5, 6, 7 characters just in here? I would like that idea, to have just this big battle royal of everyone's kind of almost on an even keel in terms of their power for once. That would be fun to just watch.
It would tear Central Tower apart. I mean, it would obliterate the entire building. I think that's what would happen if you got 4 or 5 of Skeletor's warriors. Wouldn't matter who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 or 5 heroic wars with He-Man and Skeletor leading the way, the place would be destroyed.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
To work into a story. But He-Man says, we both seem to have gained the power. It's a good illustration of him glowing.
Yeah,
and
very, very like alpha pose there.
And then he just fucking picks him up and chucks him off.
Yeah.
And to break his fall, he lands on the very top of the lion's head, which then releases the tongue lasher saying, "Oh, thanks for freeing me." He's like, "You idiot." And then Skeletor, "You've not seen the last of me. I'm gonna gather my warriors, return, and the power of returning will be mine." Then we get a shot here of He-Man within there, kind of.
He's observing everything.
Gaining more knowledge, checking the shit out, playing with stuff.
And knowing that, just looking at all this, like this is a fucking problem. Like, this could be helpful to us, but everyone's going to be after this. Like, and you break it down, like, dude, not only is Grayskull in constant jeopardy, now you have this. So now you've got 2 incredibly powerful locations that are going to be in need of constant guard and observation. Like, you're not going to be able to rest.
He-Man says to Snout Spout, get everyone else here, get them here now. And then we get the shot as Snout Spout goes to get more of the heroic warriors. He-Man saying we got to guard this against Skeletor, Snake Man, and all the other evil warriors. Sorceress was right. These towers have changed Eternia forever. They have made it the ultimate battleground. And now we get our illustration showing you just how close everything is together.
Yeah, but that's how you're supposed to set up your toys when you got this, is like have them right next to each other. So, which I would have been fucking crazy about. Like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. Oh my God. Yeah. It'd have been so fucking cool, man.
And then your parents tell you, we don't have room for this.
First I had to see it first, and I never saw it ever. Never. I think it wasn't until like I forgot what grade I was in when I only heard hearsay that one of Matt Hilton's buddies had it. He described it to me as like, oh, that's the 3 tower place. That's the Eternia play set. And he's the same kid who had the USS Flag also. And
God, what it kind of outdid me wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I mean, I would have envied you to death had I known you as a kid. But when I heard that he had some of the Holy Grails, and that was just 2 of the things I knew he had. God knows what else he had. So
out of 10, the Ultimate Battleground, what do you give this mini comic?
It's a fun and beautiful comic. Like, I mean, you could point at plot holes and things like this all over the place, but I think I give it a solid 8.
Okay.
It's the artwork is what really sells it, and you're given a nice dashes of mystery about the 3 towers. You're not given a full on explanation, a vague explanation of like where it comes from, what the purpose of it is. Mm-hmm. But it's a wonderful mini comic. I mean, a lot happens in this story. It's very compact. It's not as like physical in its action.
I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say, as an adult, I would agree with you. Give this an 8 out of 10. As a kid, I would probably give this like a 6, just because there's not enough action in it. It would be. I think this would be boring, a boring look for a kid. Other than they see the gimmick at play and stuff that they could do, but also. Maybe mom and dad already threw this mini comic out with the instructions.
They didn't get a chance to look at it. I mean, when you look at that cover, you think it's going to be this big, epic, sword and axe battle, and you don't get that at all. One punch and one kick.
That's it.
And, and maybe that's just how it was written, because it was more about, we got to get the playset over. Just get it over. Don't worry about, big epic battle sequence and stuff like that. Just make the kid like, oh, this is what this does, and this is what that does. And even though you would figure that out for yourself when you had it, but I think seeing the characters interact with the Jaws, the Center Tower, and the Gel Cell, the Grayskull Tower, and the Viper Tower doesn't do shit, because you got to pretend it does.
Drop us a line in the comments if you had this as a kid, but if you managed to at least read the mini comic if you were old enough when you got the playset, or was it a case that you got it Christmas morning and your dad had already put this together, the box, the instruction booklet, all that was tossed away after stickers were applied, didn't need this shit anymore, and it just got lost of time? Let us know if you had any of those experiences without the book. Whatever. Let us know what it was like having this playset as a child. But let's go ahead. Let's move on now to this story that you've been hanging on to for, it has been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. And this is a 14-page minicom. It's structured, set up.
All right.
So it's not like this constant run-on story. It is an actual 14-page comic with panels and everything. So
okay.
But this is called A Bad Plan. Page 1, opening page, morning on Eternia. He-Man sitting on the steps of Central Tower thinking to himself, I hope Snout Spout returns soon. There's so much more at stake now with these new towers uprooted on Eternia. So much to learn about these towers and their origins. We can't afford not to be on guard continuously. Skeletor and King Hiss will be back sooner than later. Maybe even the Horde. It changes so much, but my fellow heroic warriors and I must be ready for all possible threats. We have no choice. Page 2. Exterior shot of Snake Mountain. Narration. Last night at Snake Mountain. This is like, for people if you're not quite sure, this is moments after. Like, this is right after the Ultimate Battleground mini comic ended.
Yeah, no, I was gonna give you props for saying, yeah, we end it with him standing atop, looking out, and then we begin it with now he's on the steps.
Yeah,
this was a few moments after.
Just waiting
yeah,
for Snoutspout to come back.
Yeah.
Last night at Snake Mountain. Panel, the council room. Skeletor with Faker, his arms crossed. Think of Faker as like his personal bodyguard. And Stinkor looking on a bit frightened by Skeletor as he raises his fists in anger. I was so close to absolute power, I could feel it in my veins.
Literally, we saw it.
We saw it.
Yeah.
His stands holding a crystal ball in his hand, observing Central Tower in it. We were so close to absolute power. This He-Man reminds me of my most powerful adversary. A small panel, close-up of the crystal ball showing Hero. King Hiss speaks, and that's more than enough to motivate me to not rest until he's crushed. Hiss angrily crushes the crystal in his hand. We must begin planning at once to take back what was once mine, and then Skeletor snaps back, ours! I just really want to play up like the banter between these two.
Yeah, well, I love that it's going from what we saw here in the Ultimate Battleground, uneasy alliance. They're being very friendly to one another, even though they're ready to backstab. They're having the same thoughts that we see in the word bubbles. But then we get here, and it's just the gloves are off.
Yeah, they're just like
the mission has failed, and now they're going to blame each other for it. But also, it's still in the main mentality of, hey, we both agreed that this was a collective deal here.
Yeah, we're an alliance here, but when they start speaking with their true feelings about it, like they're calling each other out for it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good touch.
Page 3, an above shot of Too Bad in Modulok's abandoned lab sitting at the monitor. Too Bad at the computer, Two-Bar rubbing his chin in thought. Look at this, Badger, the towers that were resurrected last night. Those are the actual lost towers of Eternia. Badger eating a large piece of meat. You're going to finish your swamp hopper leg? Close-up of Two-Bar. According to Modulok's research, these ancient towers were a symbol of an alliance between good and evil in the days of Eternia. The central tower hosting a supposedly awesome presence of power in its chambers of good and evil. Weapons, knowledge, possibly both. Badra tossing the bone aside. Why should I care? And Two-Bar smiles as he sees the scanner feedback, because He-Man is there by himself. Page 4. Badger snarls at the screen. So let's go tear him apart, then eat. And Two-Bar snaps. Simpleton, this is a true opportunity not to be wasted. All the heroic warriors are distracted by the power quakes last night. He-Man is alone. But for how long?
Damn it, you didn't bring that up. It's like power quakes.
Yeah, and I that was done delivered because of the word Earth. I do remember doing
that works better. I'm surprised you didn't. I guess you were holding on for it.
That's a detail that I wrote back and reread it this morning, just and I'm like, didn't even occur to me.
Yeah. I'm glad that you changed that though.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because having Earth makes no sense. So changing it to power quakes,
which is what it was.
Yeah.
Panel. Tuvar thinks, we need a diversion, something to distract He-Man long enough for us to capture that tower. And Badger speaks, then what? Tuvar smiles. After we claim the ultimate prize, you can gnaw on He-Man's bones. Too Bad stands and Badger smiles. I like this plan. Tuvar, we'll need some trusted allies. They look at the prototype gate maker, which is a reference to Modulok's gate maker from Gateway to Trouble. Fuck.
You know, I'm never gonna jump in with that.
Oh, I know you're not. I'm just like, ah.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
So we need some trusted allies, and they look at the prototype gate maker and an element of surprise. Narration today. So we cut back to like where it's like He-Man is sitting at the tower, like this is the following day. Mm-hmm. Too Bad speaking to some evil warriors privately. Too Bad, what you would see, Too Bad speaking with Jitsu and Clawful. No dialogue, you're just seeing they're conversing.
Okay.
All right. Next panel. Too Bad brings up Karg on the computer screen and speaks. Karg and Karg is responding. I demand 10,000 gold pieces in advance, along with their desired payments as stated to seal the contract. Tuvar speaks. If that's all they want, it's a deal then. And then you would show in the corner Skeletor's spy bat from Secret of the Dragon's Egg. And it's just observing, and you see the eyes blink, and that's it.
Okay. I like that you worked Kargan there. It's fun.
Oh yeah. That's his only part. It's just he's conversing with Too Bad about trying to set up a deal here.
Yeah, but it's a good little like, hey, this character exists in mythology.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking like we're heading towards the 87 years. So set the stage, kind of build up, people that are becoming in the 87 and 88 wave,
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of extends out because you think about it, it's like, well, I'm not going to go to X, Y, and Z because they are quite trusted by Skeletor to a degree. They're kind of more tied in with him. I kind of want to go outside of this. So I don't have to worry about news getting back to him that this is what we're plotting. But of course, you got the spy bat.
That's where the spy bat's there,
Yeah.
All right. Back at Central Tower panel, He-Man responds to a communication on his wristband from Snout Spout. He-Man, I've rounded up some of the heroic warriors. Shall I continue to send more? He-Man, thank you, Snout Spout. Tell them to come immediately. Yes, keep sending as many as you can find. I'm still here all alone. Next panel, a small portal opens up in front of He-Man. Too Bad steps out, standing defiantly towards He-Man, and Tuvar smiles and speaks, not anymore. Badger growls, ready to fight, and Tuvar snaps at him. We're not here to fight, fool. He-Man standing battle ready, holding his sword, and questions the foe. You're not? Too Bad steps forward, and Tuvar speaks. We came to learn about this new Paragon Eternity and take it. Tuvar points behind him as another portal opens up. They came to fight. Two shadows come forth out of the portal. A splash panel. Blade, with no eye patch, and Sauron emerge from the portal standing side by side with Too Bad. He's all yours.
Oh, man, that's fucking great. Yeah. Because like you said, it's putting over, it's like, these are coming in the line, kids. Look for them on the
Yeah, they're coming soon. Like, you don't just be aware of them.
Or
look for them.
Or in an instance, they're out now. Go get them. Kind of.
Yeah. Or when they see the trailer for them, oh, I saw this character in that mini comic,
Yeah. Yep. Fuck. Yep.
Yeah. Too Bad steps aside as Blade unsheathes his swords and Sauron removes his pistol. Blade smiles and points his sword at He-Man. I've heard so much about you, He-Man. Impress me. Sauron leaps at He-Man as Blade charges. Sauron lands and fires at He-Man. Power Sword blocks the laser fire. Blade slashes both swords at He-Man. Forgive Sauron, he doesn't talk too much. They lock up with their swords, gritting their teeth at each other, and Blade remarks, that sword is magnificent. A few small panels of He-Man and Blade exchanging more sword clashes, and Blade clips He-Man's chin with one sword. He-Man speaks in inner monologue. That hurt. This one is really good. He's precise, and the swords are made of a very strong metal, possibly photanium. Next panel, Sauron leaps onto He-Man's back and showers sparks from his mouthpiece into He-Man's eyes. Sauron slashes into He-Man's back with his claws. Blade fires his wrist darts into He-Man's quad, bringing him to his knees. And Sauron crouches on the steps, waiting to attack again. And Blade stands arrogantly over He-Man. He-Man in pain, blinded by the sparks, using the sword to hold himself up. Blade speaks. Our battle is over. Short, but memorable. Time to collect our fee and that sword. Blade smiles. Good journey, He-Man, as he pulls back for the final slash. He-Man struggling to see as he thinks internally. I can't see, but I must keep fighting. He-Man swings his sword upwards, hoping to block the attack, cutting across the left side of Blade's face. Page 8. Blade lies on the ground holding his left eye. He-Man struggling to stand, while lacking eyesight still. Sauron, behind him, prepares to finish it, hand and claws stretched out, sparks emitting from his mouth. Close-up of He-Man blindly aware that Sauron is coming. Somehow I want to act out as if like I'm doing the actions myself here. Next panel, Lizard Man drop kicks Sauron from behind, and then a large panel spread. Sauron, bottom left corner, looks up and sees Manny Faces, Clamp Champ, Garn, Rock-On, and Buzz-Off charging towards him. Sauron opens fire at them. The warriors scatter. Manny returns the fire. Blade stands up, eyes severely damaged, and he hurls a knife directly into He-Man's already injured leg. I don't need both eyes to defeat you. Page 9. Interior of Central Tower. Too Bad stands in awe, admiring the accessibility of power, various weapons. Images of Eternia on the walls. And they see something that doesn't please them on the main control monitor. What's this? Blast it. He-Man's allies have already arrived. No matter. I'll send for our more reliable allies now. Badra points to the large axe on display. Give me that axe. Too Bad grabs the large battle axe and feels intense power surge through their body. The axe is supposed to be like the one that Skeletor has on the cover. So think of that in terms of visual. Page 10. Garn immediately blindsides Blade with his mace. Rock-On shrouds himself from Sauron's sparks. It's too early for fireworks. Next panel. Rock-On backhands Sauron. Lizard Man follows the punch by sweep-kicking Sauron's legs. Buzz-Off surveys the area while Manny sprays some eye care into He-Man's eyes. Clamp Champ removing the darts. Let's get you to the attack track for some recovery, He-Man. He-Man replies, we can't leave. Too Bad is still inside. Next panel. The warriors look up and see a large portal opening up to see Jitsu, Clawful, Fangman, Cobra Khan, Goatman, and Webster walk out. Jitsu commands, where is Too Bad? And a voice from over the tower entrance speaks, right here, Jitsu, and everyone turns to look. Too Bad stands on the steps with the large battle axe, emitting power from it and from their eyes. And Tuvar speaks, there's more inside for all of you. Join us, and together we can, Badger yells, destroy them all. A battle breaks out among the heroic warriors and the evil warriors. Page 12. He-Man clashes his sword against the battle axe held by Too Bad. Badra drooling heavily, Tuvar smiling. You're too weak, He-Man. Give up now, and Badra will make it quick. As Badra laughs. Various fights break out. Manny's robot face avoids Khan's miss, throwing a left hook into Khan's face. Lizard Man kicking Fang Man with an air kick. Garn locked arm to arm with Goat Man. Webstore holding the grappling hook, leaping into the air to avoid a blast from Buzz-Off's Stinger Lance. Clamp Champ locking his power pincer under the powerful right claw of Clawful, throwing his right fist into Clawful's teeth, breaking a tooth. Rock-On blocking a deadly chop from Jitsu. Jitsu slashes his katana against Rock-On, breaking the blade. Page 13. Too Bad's strength pushes He-Man down on his bad leg, and Tuvar speaks. We've brought He-Man to his knees. And Badger replies, now let's break them. Close-up of panel of very angry He-Man. With all his might, He-Man pushes Too Bad back. He-Man quickly slashes the axe in two, and the power from the axe drains out of Too Bad instantly. Channeling his Thunder Punch, He-Man hurls a right cross across both of their heads. He-Man on the steps of Central Tower looking at the fallen Too Bad. Next panel, Too Bad vanishes suddenly before He-Man's eyes. Page 14. All of the fallen evil warriors disappear from the battle, and the warriors look into the sky and see Skeletor's face. I'll punish my evil warriors myself. As for you, He-Man, you can gather all the warriors you want. It won't stop King Hiss and I from capturing the towers and finally Castle Grayskull. I'll never give up. Bottom panel splash. All the heroic warriors group together, with He-Man from the chest up. He-Man sheathing his sword and says, and neither will we.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the fact, too, that you take Skeletor and Hiss. They're there at the beginning kind of arguing, and then we're going to pull them out. We're going to put more of the focus on all these other characters.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see, especially with Too Bad.
Yeah, I really wanted to put him like he's listed as the evil-headed strategist. Like let's utilize that. We're never given that.
Yeah,
ever. So like let's make him the focal point of the story where he actually succeeds and is winning and talks his fellow evil warriors into like joining him secretly. Like I want to share it with you guys. I'm not gonna sit and say I'm gonna take it all for myself. Like that's how you get people over. You got to be willing to share and that the plan was going to work. If He-Man hadn't got his allies there in time.
I'm surprised that you put Goatman in there.
Just as a fun little mix. mixing it up with characters that just aren't used at all, at least in a good way. So
right.
that was the point of like wanting to put, Fang Man in there too,
I think what I enjoy the most too as you're reading that is just you could have simply had dialogue, character, whatever. I love that you have written in there that it's so descriptive that it makes it when you said Kevin was going to illustrate this. When Kevin reads that helps him out quite a bit of like, this is how he's describing it within these panels. Yeah, it's this, but I can take what he's written here and apply it and put it in a certain way in the panel. I love how descriptive that you are with that. It's the beauty of this. Every time you do these is how much effort you put into wanting how you're describing every little detail, especially there. What was it? Was it page 12 or 13 when they're all clashing, but you have them all paired off. And you're saying like Clamp Champ's got his power pincer and he's got Clawful and he's gonna hit him with his right and break a tooth. It's just like little things like that. You could have just said, "Yeah, Clamp Champ has him," and that's it. Just like a little small thing,
like actual like fight. Like give these guys a moment to shine in this. Bring more hero cores, bring more evil warriors. Like give them moments to like have battle with people they don't normally fight, or that you ever see them fight. Period. Like having Garn, the Native American version. That's how I had in mind with the mace that he has in the Slave City mini comic, and just knocking the fuck out of Blade while he's trying to go after an already wounded He-Man.
And I love how not only you bring those characters in, like we were talking about before, these characters, they're coming in the toy line in the future. Kids look for them on the shelf or when they go see the movie. Like, I saw them in that book. I love the fact, though, that it's essentially just kind of an origin of the patch for Blade. Why was he wearing the patch in the movie? Bam, there you go.
Yeah.
They've fought before, though you would have to change the dialogue in the film. Maybe not.
No, because he says I've waited a long time for this.
Yeah,
so it's like like okay to read.
Time has passed.
You already know what he's referring to. That up to that point they have not fought each other since that moment.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
they got a little excellent tie-in with that. It's good too. Like now I'm thinking, damn. You think of some of those other characters, like a Goat Man, Lizard Man, Garn. It's a shame that characters like that were not released in the vintage line.
Or really shown in any other. They ever given one shot, one moment, and that is it. And that's how I would want to write He-Man. I mean, I don't need to create anybody new. You've got so many characters that were so underutilized. Mm-hmm. Like you don't need to make up anything unless you need to stroke your own ego and say I got to create my own thing. No, you don't. You got plenty of people to play with in the sandbox on both sides, good and evil. With the Horde, the Snake Men, the Evil Warriors, Heroic Warriors, one-shot characters. Like, you don't need to make up anything, and take them seriously. You're not going to get anything over if you're going to sit there making a fucking joke. Yeah. Right, Travis Knight?
I'm going to get you on that tangent again. Though I'm sure it's going to, because you said the ranting was over, so we can't have it.
It was just a jab. That was not a rant.
Well, we will see how good Tyler keeps on his word once we roll some commercials, come back and get a few weeks worth of feedback that we've kind of not gotten to because we did another Terradrome episode, which is going to drop. You've already seen it once this is out, so I hope you enjoyed that. And then, of course, we had our Who's Mini Comic episode with Tom, which is going to premiere as we're recording this. That will premiere tomorrow on the channel. So we hope you enjoyed all that as well. But let's go ahead, take a commercial break, come back, and we'll see if Tyler will be good.
I promise I will. Just stay tuned and you'll find out.
You're looking for action, adventure, excitement. X marks the spot. It's Wolverine, Colossus, Dazzler, Nightcrawler, Storm. It's the most popular team in superhero history. Every month in Marvel Comics. X-Men. Look for Marvel Comics where X marks the spot.
Monday, the boy who had to become a man. The man who had to create a miracle. The movie that became a legend. The Karate Kid. Monday.
I have the power! Now Burger King has the power too, with 4 different He-Man meal packs, each with a special surprise, like a sword straw holder, He-Man flying shield, and 2 other Masters of the Universe prizes. You can collect all 4.
All the prizes will be mine!
Think again, Skeletor.
He-Man meal packs now at Burger King.
Oh boy, let's go!
And we're back. Tyler, our first set of comments that we had here comes from our Duel of Devlin episode review. This first bit comes from Terrell White. Would you guys think that this episode would be similar to the movie Roadhouse?
I could definitely see the similarities between it. Yeah, whereas Dial Mug is the Brad Wesley of Etheria there, and Shearer comes in as Dalton, and yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, and then just gets up and bare ass is showing.
Oh, yeah.
And then what's her face is standing there like looking like, oh my.
Yeah, she's enjoying the beefcake of Patrick Swayze in that moment there.
God, yeah, I need to watch Roadhouse again. But
It's always a good time for Roadhouse. That movie it's a year-round movie.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have to be a certain time of year to watch it. No, anytime's a good time for Roadhouse.
Casey Duncan, I did the old ball shot on a bully. I got racked twice as hard after, but then he didn't mess with me anymore. So there you go.
Well, it's good to know. It's like, for whatever reason, once they see you're willing to fight back, it's like I guess it's not as entertaining to them. I don't know. That happened to me one time too. I think I mentioned that on that episode too. Was one guy was giving me shit for like 2 years, and I finally fought back, and he clearly was stronger than me, and we got separated, and then he left me alone after that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's fun for them until it's not, I guess, and then they have to move on to someone else.
Yeah, whether you actually do get them to shut the fuck up by physical force or whatever, for whatever reason. And I'm like, I love to understand why they do, and it continues on to this day. Kids of all ages are going through that, whether it's high school, elementary school, middle school, camp, wherever you're at.
I mean, now I think that it's worse, because at least like you could go to school, get bullied there, and you had a safe haven for most times when you got home. Now with social media and the internet on phones, you just get fucking bullied no matter where you are. So that's
like Johnny says, what a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I agree.
But to feel like it ain't enough that you're going to bully this person at school, but you're going to go home, jump on social media, find either whatever platform they're on or a phone number that they have, and send them messages telling them they should kill themselves, or you look ridiculous here, or you're ugly, or you're fat, or I need you to know that. I know I don't want to go hang out with my friend. I want to make you miserable when I get home today.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more to sit and confront the people who do, guys and girls. Because there's no separation here. Like, the girls are just as vicious as the guys are when it comes to social media bullying. You know,
God, it makes me so happy that we grew up in the time that we did. It's like, yeah, we got to grow up with the technology as it's advancing, and the internet in its infancy, and have the good moments with it. I couldn't imagine being in school now and having Facebook and stuff. There's no
and knowing that they all feel like they have to have an Instagram, they have to have a Snapchat, they have to have an X account. It's leaving yourself wide open, knowing that you can't go home and be yourself and do what everyone else is doing and talk about your interest in your own personal setting. You're like, no, you'll get harassed for it, made fun of, or people making fake accounts, and multiple people telling you how ugly they think you are or how stupid your interests are. And think that there's no comeuppance for that. That's perfectly fine. And it's funny. Look what I sent this person. Look what I did to them. Look how I humiliated them in front of all the people that subscribe to their social media platform. Look what I just did today. Boy, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And when they can,
I was hacked.
Told me to do it.
I was hacked.
Yeah.
God, social media. What is it's the worst. Gary Buchanan, my favorite podcast, right on time.
Thank you, Gary.
Brian Clifton, I always enjoy all of your content. I'm not a big G.I. Joe fan, but I enjoyed your first episode due to how you guys presented your discussions. I honestly hadn't thought much of Masters in many years until I found your channel years ago. I have since bought several books and some figures. Thank you again, gentlemen, for the fine entertainment.
Brian, when you hear this, like, tell us how you found us. Just out of curiosity, I'm curious how anyone found us. Casey, Jaime, like Gary, like that. You know, Gary's been with us a long time too. But it's just well, curiosity. Let us know how you found us.
I mean, a lot of it, I would assume, is probably cross pollination with like the various Master Universe Facebook groups. And, yeah. I mean, back then the outreach to everything, and I guess you could say community, and it's still kind of there somewhat. But I think if you go back when you and Joe, it was just you and Joe first starting the show 10 years ago now at this point.
God,
things were different in the landscape of just the social media groups targeted towards Master Universe kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's where like a good chunk of it showed up. And then, I mean, there have been some there just like, I just found you guys randomly, which does happen, I guess. And then, of course, you know, we get the people that create new YouTube accounts and find us instantaneously, because that's just how the algorithm is, Tyler. But yeah, Brian, let us know how you found us. And then I can't stress this enough. Thank you again so much for the recommendations. It's put me just on this weird interwoven path. Read Grant Morrison's 25-issue run of Animal Man. Enjoyed that. Read a couple issues after to see where the creative was going with the new team. And it's interesting. It hasn't like kept my attention going. I'm going to come back to it, but I started reading Booster Gold, and I've enjoyed that. And so many of these, I'm like, this shit should have been a TV series. It lends itself so well, especially Booster Gold. With that, you can get away with having humor in it.
Yeah.
Especially him and Skeets, just the back and forth of him always mispronouncing things. It was like, and him always constantly correcting.
Which I love that in The Greatest Story Never Told in the Justice League episode.
Yeah. And that was my first exposure to Booster Gold all those years ago.
But I didn't know who he was or anything like that. I just saw that episode. Oh my God, this is a fucking brilliant episode.
Fuck. Yeah. And just the question, Starman, Animal Man. There's an issue of Animal Man. And even when in issue 25, when Grant Morrison breaks the fourth wall and it's just Animal Man meets Grant Morrison, and he's like, why did you do this? He's like, because I'm the writer, and and he even kind of makes fun of himself. It's like, yeah, I know that I can be preachy in these sometimes or whatever, because they work in the fact with Animal Man, it's because of his powers and everything, like he becomes a vegetarian because he doesn't want to eat meat anymore, because he's in tune and with the animals that are around him and absorbing their powers, like just how they are. And he brings that stuff up, and there's one particular issue where Animal Man teams up with like this little renegade group that's going after people that are killing dolphins. And it's pretty brutal, but the way that it ends is Animal Man swoops up the main guy, because like the main guy has like a baby dolphin. He puts a knife in it and like slices it. It's like, what do you think of this? And Animal Man goes and swoops him up. They go far out in the ocean. He drops them in the water and then just leaves them there. And then there's like one of the other dolphins that's in there, and he comes face to face with the guy when he's like underwater. The dolphin ends up saving him. I was like, I would have changed it. I would have had him drop him down, and instead of like a dolphin, a shark just fucking comes.
That's what I was hoping you're going to tell me, like shark infested waters, like he gets torn to pieces by sharks. Alive.
But that issue really stuck out to me a lot, just because of the tone of it, and you see some of that mixed in with there. So I was like, yeah, Animal Man, so much potential. And I would see stuff where it's like, oh, they were planning a Booster Gold TV series and an Animal Man show, and there was a Starman show I think they were wanting to get off the ground, and none of it ever materialized. And it's probably for the best, but just reading those the way those characters are, I'm like, this would easily make for great TV. even thinking budget wise in some instances that
Yeah.
would work. So thanks again, Brian. I will continuously thank you for all your DC recommendations and the path you put me on. I'm certainly getting my money's worth from that.
It makes him very happy, Brian. I can attest to that.
Yeah, and I was just over here buying more. Oh, I didn't show you this one. McFarlane actually did this Green Arrow.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, so I went ahead and bought it. The problem is his bow doesn't have like a little string here. So I'm going to put a string there, get him posed up. I'm going to have me a little, I got to figure out a shelf to put all those guys. But I'm going to have me a nice little, here are characters that are just like these C-list guys. I mean, granted, Green Arrow, people know more of him now. But you say Animal Man, most people are like,
oh yeah,
what the fuck is this? Anyway. Jaime Morez, I'm going to zoom in on this. Great episode and great conversations all around. Everyone has been bullied at one time. I learned to no sell any bullying, and I guess that worked for me. As an adult, I've learned that bullies tend to be like their parents. Asshole parents tend to have asshole kids. Tyler, you're not weird for not ever getting into a fight with your brother. Growing up with my brother, 4 years younger, we never fought, but I did break his leg, though. We would pull a mattress into the living room, and I would do a flying elbow to my brother, but I broke his leg body slamming him, and his leg bent the wrong way and broke. My dad hit me with the belt for that one. I was born in 76, and I feel I was the perfect age for everything that would come. I was old enough to read the Master Universe mini comics from day one, saw and watched it very thing from day one, from movies, cartoon, and toys. I saw Ghostbusters at the theater. My mom took me out of school to watch Rambo 2, and Commando was one of the first movies that we rented on VHS. But I was still young enough to get into TMNT and the final waves of Master Universe and buy and appreciate the last good waves of G.I. Joe from 87 to 89. Thank you for your conversations, bringing me back. Keep up the good work.
Hell of a story that envy you so much being able to see Rambo, Ghostbusters, and more than likely Commando in theaters, but the vivid memory of picking that particular VHS up at the video store too. And
I can't imagine that ass whipping though you got from breaking your brother's leg. Whew.
I mean, it's not. Me and my brother, we did fight, but we just didn't, punch and really try to hurt each other.
It was just like wrestling.
Wrestling, we did it for fun. But when Derek would get hurt and want to cry and go tell on me,
gets the knife.
Which was one time, but it did happen. Yeah.
Going back, we got a comment on the Brave Star episode review, The Price. So goes on to say, this comes from Document Medic. I remember watching this episode during its first run when I was a kid. I was impressed with how they killed off one of the characters on screen. Since I was an older preteen kid, it didn't traumatize me, but I was still surprised and amazed that they had the guts to show it in a children's show. I was old enough to understand that they weren't usually allowed to show characters dying in children's cartoons, so I had a lot of respect for them when they did it. I also liked that the episode was more than a standard episode that told kids not to take drugs. It also dealt with whether kids should tell adults when one of their friends is taking drugs. Even then, I realized that this was an issue kids who were watching the show would realistically encounter. To this day, I still wonder who Raymond Hamada was. So thanks for leaving the comment.
Wonderful
feedback.
Episode. Tremendous feedback.
Yeah. I mean, that had to hit a certain way being that age, being in that time period too, where preteen kids were more prone to, I'm going to go smoke cigarettes. I'm going to smoke weed. I might get into harder stuff because some kids did that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so. It was not definitely not unheard of for anyone in that age range. I mean, I would hear stories and would see kids maybe a year or two older than me smoking cigarettes. It was not uncommon. And then
when I was in middle school and I was on the track team, it turned out that a handful of those guys on the team, same age as me and all, there may have been some kids that were a year older at the time because this was 7th grade. So there would have been some 8th graders on the team, that some of them were getting into harder stuff at that age, like cocaine hard. I was like, all right. And one of them used to be like one of my good friends in elementary school. And that set him on a path. And his parents ended up shipping him off to military school when we got into high school. Because he just became a completely different person, like erratic, just one of those kids that just lost their path. But I mean, I don't know. It could have been home shit too. You never know with these kind of things.
You never know.
But
I mean, I felt like I would hear more stories about it, but I do remember specifically. I think it was 11th grade or maybe even senior. I was still riding the bus until I got my license, but there was some younger underclassmen always seemed like, you know, would talk to people, but seemed out of his mind this particular day, sat next to me on the bus, opened up a bag of crushed pills and started snorting it right next to me.
God.
And he looked like he was out of his fucking mind that day too. I'm like, dude, you're like 2 or 3 years younger than I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's going on in your home?
Well, I remember, I'll say his name because it's like, who knows what happened to this guy, but there was, I don't know if you remember him or not. I don't even know if he was really in high school with us for too long, but John Wall.
No.
So in middle, so this was like 8th grade. He 8th grade. So just keep in mind, like you're what, 13, 14 ish?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Stole a car, not from like a parent, a relative, anything. Stole someone's random person's car. Started driving it recklessly and was getting tailed by the police and crashed the car. Like, why? Whatever. So yeah, there's something poignant about that episode, The Price, that just the realistic portrayal. Like it's not as, because some could watch that and be like, oh, it's a kid, a younger kid getting into drugs. That seems a little far fetched. No, it's not.
No. And I've never understood the idea too, like, you know, because I didn't want to drink or smoke or anything like that, but being a teenager or practically a kid and wanting to brag to anybody who's got an open ear about what you did over the weekend. Oh, I got so shit faced, I threw up, man. As if like, wow, I wish I had spent my weekend fucking throwing up.
Yeah.
I'm like, you fucking moron. And just hearing these conversations amongst like all the preppy kids bragging about this stuff, like you're still the fucking kid. You don't have a job, but you want to talk about what an adult you are because you drank a lot and fucking threw up.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, kids are dumb, man.
Yeah.
These next set of comments comes from our character spotlight on Snakeface. So we have here Grayskull Canna giving us the celebratory emoji. So I hope you enjoyed it. Casey Duncan, cool to see. Rotar, that's one I still don't have. And I was like, don't look on eBay.
I think I got him $20 on eBay back in the early days of eBay, and he had nothing with him.
Yeah, this was before people were like, I know what I have. And then everyone else follows suit. It's like, well, this listing says it's this, so I have to make it that as well. Yeah. It's
back
covered.
People were pretty laid back about such things before the whole 80s. You know, it's all about the 80s. If it came from the 80s, I got to charge you, $20,000 for this.
Yeah, it's covered in dog shit and missing his arm, but I got to charge as much as this mint one over here.
Yeah, because it's from the 80s, and that's all. That's all you need to know. It's from the 80s.
Yeah. Jaime popping up again. Another great episode, guys. Speaking of the 87 line, I still remember school shopping at our local mall and swinging by KB summer of 87 and seeing the 87 wave on a wall display and all on clearance. I was aging out of Master Universe and didn't buy any that year. Didn't buy any that year, but jumped on them. I still remember all on one fell swoop. I purchased Snakeface Blade, Sauron. I was like, Sauron villain. Gwildor, King Randor, and Clamp Champ. I do remember that great day. Speaking of all the toy lines during that time, is basically the golden age of toys and cartoons. I want to add Robotech in both line and vehicle Voltrons. Great toy lines, but also great cartoons. So yeah, it's like we talked about earlier. Jealous of all of you older gentlemen that were able to just see more of this shit on the shelves, unfortunately.
Or have the presence of mind because you were older and see, oh my God, I'm just going to get Blade and Sauron and Snakeface and Gwildor and Clamp Champ and King Randor. Just
and they're on clearance. So
yeah, so they're all dirt cheap. I'm like, oh my God, like I am very thankful that I got what I did,
Right.
But just knowing that some of you got to were older and could recognize this stuff a lot more and had those opportunities to grab a lot more at that time, you know, whereas I had to do it the hard way, you know, flea markets and trading toys with the kids at school in secret so I wouldn't get made fun of. You know,
and then you didn't have to worry though about getting bullied when you got home on the internet.
Yeah. I just had to keep it quiet and hope no one saw it, and you know,
and hope that the person that you traded with wasn't going to tell everybody else.
And unfortunately, like the people I traded stuff with, they were not that type. Like
that's good.
Know, yeah, it was never. It was more about the other children, because that's what we were, who were in sports. And if you were wearing anything, you know, like I remember wearing an X-Men shirt that had Jason, the Red Power Ranger, on it as well. It was like Wolverine and Jason on it. I thought, oh my God, this is fucking cool. And I wore it to school. And of course, one particular individual who was in no position to be criticizing anybody, but felt the need, like, why are you wearing that? And I said, well, it's got Wolverine on it. I didn't say it's got both my favorite Ranger and Wolverine on it.
Yeah, because you couldn't say that you like Power
Couldn't
Rangers,
say, and this is fucking 5th grade, as we've already discussed before. It's just like you, and that was I only got one remark about it that day, and I never wore the shirt again to school though. Because even though the person who said that remark clearly was in no position to be criticizing anybody, I just says, like, you know, it's shit I didn't need. I don't need this shit. You know, I just want to come to school and say I'm proud of my X-Men and Red Power Ranger shirt, but you know what? It ain't fucking worth it. So
I'll try again in a few years with a Thundercat shirt.
Yeah, and then two people who have no fucking business making fun of anybody. But that's back then when it's like, if you were to knock them the fuck out and slam them onto the table, you get
behind on homework.
You get behind on my schoolwork. I'm like, you know, it ain't fucking worth it.
Ducko5404. Tyler, that story was epic as fuck. If you guys ever run into a situation where you can't put out episodes for a while, a separate playlist including those stories would be super cool. Snakeface is one of my personal favorite characters in Masters. There are so many good ones, but you know, it's like, yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. I could probably go through and cut out those just the original story parts and just make it like one big video where it's just
a loop of stories. Just
No,
that's a great idea. And
something to look into.
I hope we did justice for Snakeface, since he's one of your personal favorite characters, that you enjoyed our discussion, and I really enjoyed the story and saw him presented in a light that he deserved to be. Unlike MYP, where he's taken out in the first or his technically second episode he's featured in, and just turned to stone, and you never see him again. You know?
It's pretty easy cop out, I guess, with the
just shitty writing.
Yeah, so it's like we talked about before. Snakeface is just one of those. It's like, oh, you just rely on. He sees his reflection, he turns to stone, then we're done.
That's you just being lazy and just going with a very, very cliche plot point. And you're not thinking.
Brian Clifton, thank you guys for more great content. I'm glad you're enjoying the recommendations. I'm also tracking down the other Warlord miniseries. Recently, I've discovered how good Jonah Hex comics are, and I'm not really a Western fan, but liked his appearance in DC animation. The Josh Brolin movie is not a good representation.
I think even Josh Brolin would probably say that too.
I think most people that worked on that film would probably
I had no desire to see it when it came out. I was like, nope, I'm good. Megan Fox in it? No.
Yeah, looked like dog shit. And then they just kept casting her stuff. We're going to make her April O'Neil now. I'm like, why are you doing this?
I've never understood, even when fucking Transformers came out and it was a piece of shit. I'm like,
she's not that hot.
She's a very generic looking pretty woman, like the Kardashians. There's nothing that, you know, like Jessica Alba is one of the most beautiful women. You know, Cindy Crawford, Tyra Banks, the list goes on. But Megan Fox is so generic. There's nothing special about it. I've never thought that. It was like, I got to go home and bop the baloney over Megan Fox. You know, ever. She never did anything. She was just such a cliche looking, you know, they're ninjas. You know, oh, shut. God, you can't fucking act. Michael Bay just wanted to, you know, titty fucker or something like that.
Bob the baloney. Jesus.
Yeah.
Here we go. More stuff with you and your brother. Jaime Morris. Tyler, what is the age gap between you and your brother? I went through the same thing with my brother, but once I broke his leg. We're bringing that up. He stopped crying to mama. Your latest 3-issue comic series, I gotta agree with Nathan. Your best so far. Bravo
Thank
to you, Tyler. Great out-of-the-box story, and I hope Dark Horse listens to this episode and decides to give you a call and start a Master Universe ongoing John Romita Jr. on art duties. I was kidding about that last part. Lastly,
I'd be fine with work with John Romita Jr.
Lastly, I went to junior college for 2 years studying criminal justice. After my second year, I had an interview for the Ontario Police Department, but I got arrested the day before my interview. Long story, but that interview didn't go too well, so I was done with college. I would like to hear both of your stories of what you studied and what made you decide to say, fuck it, this college thing ain't for me.
Well, me and my brother are 4 years apart. So,
yeah, it's like we graduated and then he was a freshman. It's like that would have been so fun to just like be seniors and your brother was a freshman. It's like, look, there's Chunk. Let's
I can't call him that anymore. I haven't been able to because Katie got so upset about it. But I could say it. He's listed on my phone as Chunk.
Yeah,
I still have like his name on my phone is Chunk. So
that's because you call him Ice now, right?
Do what now?
It's because you call him Ice now, right?
Ice. Oh yeah, I call him Ice. Yeah.
But just think back to that time where he's like, "Don't call me that anymore. Call me Ice."
Yeah. Oh yeah, from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he never had a problem with it. Like we called him that for years, and KD just got so put out with us calling him that, and even though he wasn't, chunk anymore, he wasn't heavy, and like I was heavy too. We were both heavy. He was chunk, and I was called sluggish. And that was because my brother and dad ran up the elevator at Tanglewood Mall, and I just kind of stood there and just let it carry me, and they just laughed at me like I was just standing there and sluggish. Like I was a slug, and I'm just.
I mean, I could see it because I also envision you sadly eating that ice cream at McDonald's at one time.
Yeah, that fits the description of a sluggish. Yeah, I didn't find anything to buy, and this Hot Fudge Sundae sucks, and this shitty Phil Collins song is not making it any better at McDonald's.
Jaime, if you feel comfortable about it, leave us a comment on this and let us know how you got arrested the day before your interview with the Ontario Police Department. But what were you studying in college, Tyler?
I was going to do business at one point because I wanted to own my own business, like my own personal toy shop was like my own thought. But I'm like, my dad even bought me Prince Adam and Clawful Men on Card as like a way of starting like an inventory. I'm like, I'm not going to sell these.
Yeah. I'm going to be really bad at this because I'm just going to keep everything.
My thought. Like I wanted to own a vintage toy shop. And I remember that there's this place in Winchester we went to multiple times where I got a bunch of them, like Men on Card with the back cut out so you could take the mini comic out for like $20 a piece. Mm-hmm. And it was such a cluttered store. Like it was junk everywhere, but it was nothing but vintage toys from like the 80s and early 90s. And it was awesome to go in there. And I thought, but, you just couldn't imagine the guy made much of a living, off of that. And he changed locations, and we went to one other time too. But that's kind of where it started. Like I would love to own my own toy shop. And that kind of went into like, nah, I'm not cut out for business. Like I'd like to be a teacher and work with young kids,
mm-hmm.
Preferably like, kindergarten. Kindergarten comp was a big inspiration. So I did take courses, or at least that I thought were going to lead up to teaching. And then when I actually started to have to like, present a lesson plan in front of college students and teach, like, oh, fuck that. And I was like, I'd rather can I just work with the kids? Why am I gonna do this shit?
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I've been really into fitness for so long, being a personal trainer. But I didn't realize that you don't have to go to college to be a personal trainer. You just have to get certified. So I was taking courses at Radford University to become a personal trainer, not being told that you won't get shit from this. You still got to get certified. So I was taking courses to be a personal trainer, and then I took anatomy. And had one of the most wackiest a teacher you could imagine, who was an asshole, I thought. But he's like a goofy, like mad scientist kind of personality. And I failed every fucking quiz and test we took in that class. I said, you know what, I'm out of here. And I was like, I'm happier just going to my job and making money. And that's why I said, fuck it. I'm out. And my brother dropped out too. He went to art school. He still loves to do art, but we both dropped out. We both got very respectable jobs, making good livings without a college degree.
Yeah, I guess I could say that it's the same now at this point. Like I'm making good money, got good insurance, and in this day and age, that's kind of what you need more than anything. Mm-hmm. I still subscribe to the idea that we were kind of, our generation was kind of lied to, because like the generation before, like our parents' generation, it's, oh, they got in good, like college was cheaper, the jobs that they're doing, so like computers are coming up. Yeah, you can do that shit. And then as things progressed, all these jobs got cut out. But by that point, oh, they're retired, whatever. So it's like we're promised, you go to college, get your degree. In some cases, sure, that does work out. But in a lot of cases, there are people who go to college, get a degree, and they're just sitting there with it. The jobs don't pay that good, whatever. Yeah, that too.
You're piling up today, and that's something I will say. Neither one of my parents told me and my brother we had to go to college.
Yeah, mine didn't either.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, it was just the general perception.
Well, and that's what's like. You graduate high school, you go to college, you get a job, and you get married, and you have kids. That's what I thought you were supposed to do. And when you start to realize, like, hey, I hate college. I hate tests and taking quizzes and doing verbal presentations from the classes. Like, I'd rather just make money. Then start to realize, God, trying to get married is not really an ideal situation either. It's actually kind of, and then you hear all these horror stories of people getting divorced because he took a shit and didn't flush it. I want a divorce.
Yeah.
Like people get treating as if like it's a you make up and you break up like in high school kind of thing. It's like, that's not what marriage is about. And he's like, you know what? No one really benefits from getting married outside of like, okay, you're married, now you can share health benefits. Other than that,
right.
There's no guarantee. And typically the woman comes out on the higher end. The man is usually kind of seen as like the piece of shit. He wasn't there. He drank. He fingered someone else's butthole, not mine. You know, it's whatever you want to throw the book at him. He's a piece of shit. I just made that up. I didn't hear about it.
Fuck.
But I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in this country someone wanted divorce because someone else was getting their butthole fingered and not the significant other.
Oh yeah, I'm the stories.
But I just start to realize, you know what? It's I you know, really wanted to do all that at one point. I really did. And then you start to recognize, you know what? I don't know how people are managing to get to that stage, but it never seems to last.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like your parents and a very few choice selection of others have actually continued to transcend that. They're making marriage work. They're working together. It's not a one person, you know, partnership. It's not one person does all the work. Like your parents have always worked together. They support each other. And I just feel like today it's more about, look at me, look what I'm doing, put it on social media. It's my day to shine.
Yeah.
And it almost comes off like the man is pretty much the accessory.
I still think it goes both ways in that.
It does, and it's not a cut and dry situation, but I feel like as a whole, outside of the actual celebration, they paying all the fucking money in the world for one day of pissant food and expensive out the ass photography.
I think that's where it's dumb. It's like go to the courthouse.
Yeah, because that's when I feel like it's not about really you two found each other and you guys want to be life partners together. Yeah. This is more about like, look at me, look what I'm doing.
Yeah, let's make a big spectacle.
Yeah, and then your parents go into fucking debt over this, and like, do you really know this person you're going to get married to? Well and then all my other friends are getting married, so I got to do it too.
And that's the whole thing of just, what if you get divorced? Like, the parents spend all that money for that, for it just end up the way
to be over in a couple of months, not even a year.
Yeah, my parents celebrated their 44th wedding anniversary last week.
That's impressive as hell.
Yeah, July 3rd. 44 years. It's still going strong though.
The pioneers.
I do see bits and pieces, like when they both came over and we were talking on the porch, and dad was like, Mom said something and Dad was like, yeah, she won't let me do that. And then I was like, yeah, because you had open heart surgery.
Yeah.
You're still, I mean, you're way better now, but you still have to be careful. But just, it was funny. It's like, yeah, she won't let me do that. And Mom was like, you know what? He can just do whatever he wants. So I was like, all right. So they're there, but it's still very, very, very good. So yeah, 44 years together with college for me. Mine was more the girl I was dating at the time. Her family looked down on me because I wasn't going to college. So I was like, all right, well,
and you people should see those two assholes.
Yeah.
Boy, were they a treat.
So I went and did like general studies, just obtaining credits because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, fuck, I'm just doing this for this reason, more or less. And just reached a point, like I was doing fine in it, but I just reached a point where I was like, what am I doing? Whatever. What am I doing with this? This is dumb. So I just like stopped going, and then reached a point where I'm like, I'm financially stable. She's happy. What's the problem here? But there was still the problem there. And then that turned into the thing where like her mindset was starting to, I guess, sort of shift more towards their point of view. And I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. So there you go. That was basically my college story.
Yeah.
I was like, I personally felt no point to this, but granted, like those credits are still there. If I wanted to go back for any reason, still got all that shit. So that's good, I guess.
I mean, I'm like Christopher. A lot of people go to college for 7 years. I did.
Gary Buchanan, excellent work.
To show for it.
Gary Buchanan, excellent work on the mini comic. T-Rex was anticipating each line heavily. Nasty Nate, you should definitely revisit The Jerk. NPC forever. Yes, I do. I still have
my God, what a classic.
I have not watched that yet, but I need to pop on there. I noticed last night, I think I watched like 15 minutes of it. That Odyssey TV mini series that we watched.
Oh, yeah, with Armand Desante?
Yeah, it's free on YouTube to watch.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started watching, I got 15 minutes into it, and I was like, nah, all right, then let's go ahead and turn this off.
Well, I'm quite certain it's going to be better than that piece of shit Christopher Nolan's got coming out.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Let me back out of this here, and we will move on to our last bit that we got, and our newest Sword of Skeletor Golden Book review. So we have here, Casey Duncan, thanks for another great show, guys. Brian Clifton, I understand Tyler's comic buying frustration. After collecting for over 30 years, I was unhappy with the product and stopped collecting for nearly 5 years. After some recommendations and rewatching favorite shows, I rediscovered my love of comics. I don't buy as many single issues as I did. I do mostly collected editions now. Been collecting again for 5 years. I gave older series I was interested in a try. Now I'm loving stuff like The Warlord and Jonah Hex. Also, it helps that I found some good websites for buying collected editions at cheap prices. Thank you, gentlemen, as always, for the entertainment.
Thank you, Brian. And it's always fun talking comics. And I wish I could say I'm into modern comics, but it's just it's what few times you try. It's like, you know what? I'm better off just reading the old stuff because there's still a shit ton of old stuff I never got around to reading, never had a chance to read. Nathan's doing the same thing too. I'm sure there's reasons why the artwork continues to look pretty lackluster, even though there have been. I know that there are decent artists out there. I just don't see them often enough, and it just seems to be kind of the way of the world in terms of comics. It's like they're cheap, they're getting the work done. Doesn't matter if it looks good or not. They're getting the work done, and it's like, well, I don't want to pay $8 for substandard, less than amateur artwork, and not that anybody can write, because not anybody can. Otherwise, it's like shitty fan fiction.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just feel like people don't do crossovers the way that they used to.
No.
I remember, I think when they were going to do a brand new like relaunching of Spider-Man, and I picked it up, and I'm like, this doesn't come off like a first issue of anything. This looks like this is a part, like a mid part of something that's already going on. And like,
maybe at this point they've kind of figured out that everyone knows the story. Let's just jump into something else. Which I don't agree with. I think you still need to have a beginning. Or not.
Well, even then, like, I'm not expecting you to do like Ultimate Spider-Man where you're retelling the origin. If you're going to do a brand new like flagship book from the very beginning here, it needs to come off like you're setting the stage. And this is just like, ho hum, I'm Spider-Man. I'm going to meet up with Johnny Storm. We're going to have a drink. And just like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
I was like, man, fuck this book. And then like I think they had like a Sinister War. I'm like, how many more versions of the fucking Sinister Six does there need to be?
I know.
It's just like, they had their version and they had their version. It's like, how many versions do you need?
I know. Yeah.
And we're gonna have not only that, but we're gonna have a war of them. I'm like, so fucking lame.
Yeah.
Like the people at Marvel and DC, like, how are you guys just like I love this idea. What are you comparing it to? I don't have any idea. I was
don't
just
know.
put in charge.
I like that Arcadia book with Batman, Green Arrow, and Question so far. It's a slow mover kind of thing. It's only 3 issues, so when issue 4 drops on the app, I'll read that. And of course, I mentioned before that I read Absolute Martian Manhunter and Absolute Batman. I haven't jumped back into those, but I enjoyed them for what they were. I do think though they're kind of running the risk of running the Absolute brand thin, because I saw there's a Catwoman one out, there's a Green Arrow one out. You already have Flash. It's been running for a little bit. Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman. So I was like, okay, like
they did that with Ultimates too, and
I know, yeah. I would have kept it concise. I would have just made this a few.
You could have just expanded it within like 3 books.
Within one book.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's fine. X-Men I read for a short period, and I hated how they call the Avengers the Ultimates. Like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
It's Ultimate Avengers. Still call them the Avengers. The X-Men aren't called the Ultimate X's or something. It's just, they're still called the X-Men. Spider-Man's still Spider-Man, but it's like, no, we're going to call these the Ultimates. No, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my brother, he got in. My brother generally got into reading the Ultimate Avengers for a stint, and they did Fantastic Four, which looked dog shit. Iron Man 2 didn't look good at all. But I read Ultimate Spider-Man probably for the first like well over 100 issues. Like I was reading that book religiously and going back and read. It is, but I went back and reread a bunch of those. I think about a year or so ago. Like, man, some of these really don't hold up, and some of them are quite good, and others like, man, Brian Bendis, what the fuck are you thinking with this?
But at least they are very quick reads. You can burn through those.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can read one issue in like a matter of minutes, like just a couple of minutes, because it's and Mark Bagley's artwork always delivered. That was one of the bigger selling points for me. Is I loved Mark Bagley's artwork back then. Oh my god, like sign me up. And then James E. talks like, he didn't do anything for me.
Our next comment, you're going to love this one, Tyler. Comes from Dr. Alec Court, 1833. Great coverage, guys. These are the stories and books that captured our imagination. The original lore was far superior to what we got with Filmation, even though I love that cartoon. The 2026 movie dropped the ball by making fun of the IP, too many stupid jokes, and not taking opportunities to tell epic stories like what we see here. It wasn't complicated, but they had to make it a feminine version of what idiots consider to be masculine. Adam delivering an HR speech to rally the troops is unforgivable. So many stupid choices, which ultimately resulted in a stupid movie that failed miserably. What a huge missed opportunity. The 1987 movie was a masterpiece compared to the 2026 garbage.
God bless you, bud. It's a masterpiece no matter what. But the minute the Barbie movie came out, it was a massive hit. Like, Mattel's going to do the same thing with He-Man. I guarantee it. And that's what they did. They greenlit a movie that makes fun of their own property.
If they got it off the ground, because I mean, you think about it, for the longest time, we joked about it multiple shows over the years. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and then it does. There it is. From what I've seen, I think I've already said this before, but the 21st of this month, 10 days from now, it's supposed to drop digitally to rent and to purchase.
So I'm sure what that small handful of idiots who sit there and say this is the movie that they deserve. This is a love letter to Filmation, which means you've already been lobotomized. I don't know how or when, but you clearly were. We're going to be the ones that you guys need to buy. You need to give it a chance. So that way Mattel can make another one. They can fuck up Hordak and She-Ra. I'm just, I really can't understand how they really thought it was. I'm not going to go on a rant here. I'm not. But I really, in all seriousness, I don't know why they thought this would help them sell more toys. More toy role play power swords, want people to watch or tune into a shitty cartoon on, I don't know what platform it's going to be, meant for babies, I guess.
Oh, like, the YouTube shorts?
Yeah, the YouTube shorts. Like more shit making fun of He-Man.
Yeah, that I don't understand too.
Like, did you not realize what happened with Thundercats Roar when the entire internet community of Thundercat fans came out against that guy with the fucking man bun and said, this guy's a fucking moron. What are they doing to Thundercats? And it was a big fucking flop. Because they just chose to like, we're going to do it anyway. Because
I've heard nothing. I don't see people really talking about any of that. Because I mean, they're only 4 minutes long, whatever. I watched the first one. I think I've already mentioned this. I was like, yeah, the whatever.
Well, and I don't, and it's to be expected, because I'm sorry, the movie did not have legs, was not going to have legs, and anything that follows was not going to help either.
Mm.
So I blame Mattel because they thought it was all good ideas. Whether they're giving out permission or licensing out whatever, like ultimately it's their call. So whoever's running the show, I don't know who is, because I don't give a shit. But they clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And now what do you do? What do you do now with He-Man? I'm sure I haven't been to Target in who knows how long, but I'm sure those shitty toys are probably marked down. They can't give them away.
I don't know. Yeah, they're probably. I would suspect they're in the clearance aisle, but at this point. But yeah, 10 days. 10 days from now, allegedly, it'll be.
We'll get to sit at home, get fucking trashed, and.
Well, that's a Tuesday. I'm not gonna. Well.
Oh.
No, yeah, it's not shutdown break from work yet. It'll probably be that weekend following after its digital drop that I'll rent it. I'm not. I guess it depends on pricing too, but. Because the way they do it, it's like, oh, $20 to rent it or $25 to own it.
God, I'm like, man, I'd rather you just do it the old-fashioned way.
that's a good point.
I'd rather you not spend that kind of money and give those assholes any more money.
I'll see what I can do. Drawing by hand. The Sword of Skeletor has some great art in it. I would definitely buy a print of Kevin's art with Too Bad, Spikor, etc. Fantastic art. I live overseas, so. We'll try to figure out something there. We'll see how the math works out with that. With the He-Man movie, I understand where Tyler's coming from. Slight spoiler alert: Fisto jokes 6 times, and 6 times with Ram Man. Why they call you He-Man? Apart from that, Jared Leto as Skeletor was great. Trap Jaw was great. Beastman and the whole cast. Not a bad film overall. Better than I thought it would be. And some of the other jokes were fine. Hope Nathan watches it soon. Duel of Devlin, I give it a 7. Enjoy your commercial breaks, because I don't know if you saw any of these, Tyler, but I did like License to Drive. There's one with a 21 Jump Street, and then there's a was it Captain Power commercial that starts with the Mattel logo, but the 21 Jump Street music from the previous commercial is still playing.
Okay.
So it's like 21 Jump Street brought to you by blah, blah, blah. So I had that there. So License to Drive has been popping up everywhere online. It's a great film. Have you ever watched License to Drive with the Corys?
No, I've watched the trailer, but I've not actually watched the movie.
It's fun.
Heather Graham looks hot as hell in it.
Yeah, it's exactly what you would think it is, obviously, but it's a lot of fun. I recommend you check that out. I own the Dirty Harry collection on Blu-ray. They're all fantastic films, great one-liners. Do I feel lucky, Punk? On the comic side, check out John Byrne's X-Men.
I have read a lot of John Byrne's X-Men. It's a great run. I enjoy his run on Fantastic Four is fun too. His work on he did some Namor too, and of course his Man of Steel was fun also. So, but I'm aware too that he was very not nice to Mark Bagley. Bagley said in an interview that John Byrne was pretty shitty to him about how he viewed his artwork, and he never forgot it. Like he didn't say it maliciously, but it was like. Yeah, he was not very encouraging or very polite to me about it, which I was like, man, really? That fucking sucks, dude. Like a guy that I've idolized as an artist, like, and to hear that John Byrne like just shit all over him. I'm like, man,
I would hang on to something like that as well.
Well, I mean, look, Mark Bagley's had a fucking great career, so you know what? I guess you can tell John Byrne to eat it.
Yeah. So that Sword of Skeletor, that episode's only 5-6 days old at this point. So there'll probably be some more comments that trickle in over time, much like we've gotten here with our Point Dread and Talon Fighter episode. This comes from Robert Hart. I'm like, oh, Robbie Hart from Wedding Singer. As a kid, Al Calapanels definitely reinforced the idea of an arduous climb up to the summit of Point Dread, not for those who suffer from vertigo. I always imagined a scenario where up to 4 warriors could fit inside the Talon Fighter. He-Man and Tila would be co-pilots struggling to fly and safely land this high-powered craft in a race against time.
That's a cool visual. And again, yeah, it should be at the top of a high mountain peak where you have people who are afraid of heights or have vertigo would really, like, I could see one of the heroic warriors, like, have no choice. Like they have something invested in a reason to get up to the Talon Fighter. To Point Dread, and like they have to overcome their fear of heights or vertigo to get up there.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I just even either animating it or showing a comic panel of that distance too, or working in a way that's sort of like Alfred Hitchcock when he would have the full zoom. Let me scroll through my phone here. I might not be able to find everything. There were some stuff that I saved from Premiere chats. So I'll see if I can find any of that right now because I did forget to save some of that stuff. Because there were a couple things I felt like I wanted to note. Johnny Cock. They might not say it, but I can see a lot of them not wanting Orko with them on missions. I'm trying to remember exactly what episode. Maybe have it saved June 28th. So I can't. We can do the math here and see when the 28th of. So that would have been the week prior to. I don't know what episode this comes from. But yeah, talking about not wanting Orko with them on missions, I was like, yeah, I would be in that camp if Orko is a part of the stuff. I would probably be like, this guy fucks up a lot more. And it could be an instance too, and you can work that in the story where it's like you have a certain character that the only time they see Orko, he's always messing up, so they never see any of the good stuff that he's capable of doing. So he goes on a mission, Orko's there, and he's just like, ugh, the whole time, like, this guy sucks. I don't want him here. And then he proves himself, and it's once again changing the perception and then like trust, and much like we talked with Tom, that could be a fun element.
I would like it, putting someone, which I feel like Man at Arms is like one note with like always shitting on the character, but then like when it comes down to it, like he's like, no, I'm, or vehicles can repair, you can't. It's important to. I wish they would stick with that and have the character evolve, as opposed to just like, oh my god, will you stop shitting on Orko all the time? But when the character's like inconsistently written as like either hard nosed or very wise and caring, that's when I kind of feel like, okay, well, which is it here? If you're very wise and caring, you should be a little bit more sympathetic to Orko because he is, one of Adam's best friends. And when he has done a lot more things that you're not giving him credit for, like helping save fucking Castle Grayskull, amongst other things. So it's one of those things I feel like you need to have consistency with these characters. And again, you're writing for children and filmation, but it's one of those things that make Tila and Man at Arms so oftentimes irritating because they're written to be kind of one note, just angry and bitter a lot of times, or Man at Arms is inconsistent. Sometimes he's more understanding. Other times it's like, dude, calm the fuck down, dude.
Yeah. I think this does pertain to the character spotlight snake face going with your original story.
Okay.
And I think that's when I brought up like tandems and maybe I might be wrong.
Imagine writing Orko in anywhere else other than just being a part of the ceremony. The big dinner and banquet that they're having, between the two royal families. Like, and I think that was a perfect role for him, like being a buddy to Adam and helping him, suave and swoon, the Jessica Alba lookalike,
right?
And nothing more.
Johnny goes on to say they might have some cultural differences that might put them on different pages. Like Cyclone Buzzoff, Stratos, Mossman. No one gets Stratos's jokes at camp at night or something. So I could see there being like you're a bird man and you're a bee and we're just totally different.
Well, they did that with the episode Sky War from NYP, which kind of felt. I mean, I that's your world building. You're kind of having it set up as if like the Buzzoff's people were more the aggressors and more like we don't want help from outsiders. We're not interested in alliances, and then where Stratos was like more. More understanding. Like, look, we want to be friends. We want to be allies with you. And it's like, we don't need your help. Fuck off. And
it was like when our middle schools came together when we went to high school. It's like, yeah, it's very similar to that. And then finally,
people, I was like, well, I'm not even from Dublin. I'm from Fairlawn.
And then finally, Oliver Belmont. The best moment of Michael Bay's film Armageddon was when Harry Stamper, played by Bruce Willis, says to U.S. government officials that they'll save the world, but they don't want to pay taxes ever.
I hate that movie. Fucking sucked. Had to watch that 9th grade science class. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, we talked about that before. All those shitty disaster films we had to watch.
From the 2 volcano movies and the 2 meteor movies. Fuck off.
Yeah. So that was all the comments and a little bit of the premiere chat stuff. I think there were some things that have been lost to time. I probably had screenshots on my phone at some point, and they might still be there. I may have deleted them, but that was all the feedback that we have received in recent weeks. So now we're finally caught up, Tyler.
Lots of good feedback. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to share that stuff with us.
So I guess I don't really have much else to talk about. We'll probably have to bounce house soon because I gotta get dressed, get on the road, and go watch some AEW Collision. So that'll be fun to go watch some wrestling live and in person once again. So Tyler, let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this episode. We hope everyone enjoyed it. Make sure you like it. Leave us a comment down below if you want to have more stories about fighting with your sibling. Like I mentioned before, let us know your experience with turning a play set. If you got to grow up with it, mini comic. Did you read it? Was it tossed out? Did you keep it? If you kept it and you don't want it anymore, sell it on eBay. You'll make good money. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that as well. And until later, let the power return.
Eat shit.
Just eat shit.
Just eat shit.
I'm just gonna say it because I'm wearing the shirt. Monster Squad.
No.
Okay. I didn't know if you're gonna
follow
pull
quote would be, see, I don't need to deal with you fucking dildos anymore.
Oh, Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Did you buy the Criterion yet?
No, it's still sitting in my basket. I had to wait till I got paid. I'm like, okay, now it's more about like, okay, what do I pull the trigger on? Like I got that Bad News Bears on Blu-ray.
I bought Bad News Bears on Bluray.
I still have it on DVD. I watched it the other day because I was in the mood to watch Bad News Bears, and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta buy the Blu-ray."
Yeah, you gotta upgrade. It came with a digital copy too, so I was like, I need to redeem that.
It's just I want to, you know, when you buy a couple things, all right, let's not get crazy with all the spending here. Those are all caught up, and I'm like, what do I spend the money on? Like Giannis Antetokounmpo's jerseys available to buy at the Miami Heat store. I'm like, oh my god, that's $140. And I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, just blow all your money.
Oh, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Oh my god, now I got to wait 3 weeks down the road where I get my paychecks all caught up. And
yeah, but at least you know the jersey's in the mail and you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I really just want to buy that and get a couple more movies to watch. And
Tyler, where the fuck's LeBron going, man? Where's he gonna land?
Probably Cleveland, and it'll just be this big like, okay, we all saw it coming kind of thing. So I know at this point, no one knows. They can sit there and make conjectures. I saw him in Florida. Well, I saw him in Cleveland.
Oh man, the decision 3.
Yeah, whatever it is, it'll only be a big deal if he goes someplace other than Cleveland. If it's Cleveland, it's just gonna be like the happy story ending. And it's like,
yeah, weren't they just burning your jerseys again?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He just needs to fucking retire.
I'm really surprised that
just retire, man.
Yeah. You know,
but was it true that like he made sure that his son had a secure contract before he bounced LA?
Oh yeah.
So they're stuck with him
pretty much.
That's, I mean, whatever. That's
which I'm
good,
like, I'm sorry, but you can sit there and act like LA didn't do enough for you. Like they brought you in, try to make you part of the Laker culture. They took your son that no one was going to draft anyway, and gave him a spot on the team.
Yeah.
And now he's taking up a spot that someone else who more than likely deserves it more than he does.
Is it safe to say he is the David Flair of the NBA?
Oh my God. Is he ever? And everyone knows it. And everyone last year or 2 years ago tried to hype it up as like, this is a big deal. Like, no, it's not. We all know he would have been an undrafted player if he'd go in the fucking second round.
If no one's done it yet, I think I might do it. Find a good clip of like Bronny James like airballing or missing a layup or something, and then it cuts to like LeBron looking disappointed. It'd be like the David Flair Titantron. I'll put the music to it.
Oh, you should do that because I'm like, he is the David Flair of the NBA. That's a great analogy.
All right.
You know, but people still want to act like, guys, if he was any better, he'd have gotten better by this point, or he would have been drafted in the first fucking round.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess there's still room for him to grow and improve. He's
for
still
anybody,
young.
But it's also not going to help that when you're playing on a team because your dad got you the job.
Yeah.
I mean that's not doing you any favors. And you know, if he really wanted to play in the NBA, he should have fucking earned it like everybody else.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I'm like, why did you think? I'm surprised LeBron, but being a man who is all about, you know, the visual look of him, like wants to be perceived in a certain way. Like, what made you think people are going to say you getting your kid a job on the team was going to go over well. Outside of somebody, like, this is a great deal. Father and son playing together for the first time ever. Who gives a fuck?
Yep. They did it in baseball all the time.
What was family members playing together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. He played with his dad.
I didn't know that. But,
yeah. There's all kinds.
Well,
of
they've
things,
had brothers play in sports too. I'm sorry, that's not a big fucking deal either.
No, it's not. Yeah, they're doing it in hockey now with the fucking Kachuk brothers in Florida.
Oh yeah, your favorite team there.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck 'em.
But if he comes to Miami, yeah, it'd be great because I still have my LeBron Heat jerseys. But chances are, I don't see it happen. He'll go back to fucking Cleveland, and no one.
I don't think he needs to go to Miami. I think they would be way better off without him.
He would do well there because he wouldn't be asked to carry the team.
Yeah,
but everywhere else, he's playing on an old Golden State team where they didn't make the playoffs yet. We didn't make the playoffs either. But you know what? You got a full team with one of the best shooters that's ever graced the floor. Didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, and go to Cleveland like they don't need LeBron. And now they're talking about the 76ers. It's like just throwing out anything because no one knows anything. They don't know shit. Even the biggest NBA insiders do not know anything. It's just whiteboard bullshit.
He's going to New York. There, I said it.
They say that too, and they say he would have gone to New York if they didn't win the title.
He's going to Chicago. There we go.
Yeah, that was one of the teams he was looking at during the 2010.
May as well just make his runs. He was with LA, now you go to Chicago, stay there, keep fucking playing.
Go nowhere.
No, go to Boston. Like just
God, boy, talk. that would be the ultimate. Like, you know, I'd rather you go to fucking Golden State than Boston. Man, fuck both those teams.
All right, Sports Desk. I hope everyone enjoyed the sports conversation. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for your time, everybody.
Hey, Pinocchio, where are you going? Gotcha!